Thanks for tuning in to Brian Sells Words. Nobody cares about your brand. Get to you after the jump. Welcome back, y'all. So, I need to say this because there are a lot of clients that I interact with that they've spent a lot of time on brand management. And I think it's kind of become a buzzword in the way we do things nowadays, where people are so concerned with their personal brand. You see a lot of it in the influencer space and things like that. And it's seeped over into the business world of people who have small businesses. And I really feel like it's my duty to tell you, as a marketer, as a friend, hopefully, as a confidant, as a trusted ally, nobody cares about your brand yet. There are tons of businesses out here who spend insane amounts of money with rebranding efforts, branding efforts, with logo design, with a lot of other effluvia, a lot of other bullshit. And they don't spend as much time in figuring out how they're going to deliver quality services every single time. People do not care about your brand. They don't care about your company. They don't care about you until they need you. And if you're there when they need you, then they care about you. Show of hands. Who here has a full gas tank and drives around worrying about gas? Filling up their car. Who here has a brand new set of tires and worries about, worries about tire tread? Who has a new air conditioning unit in their home and thinks about the features of air conditioning units? Unless you are working in those industries or you have some kind of insider knowledge, most people don't worry about this kind of stuff until they actually need it. And your business is the same. Ideally, if you're watching this channel, you love your business and you love your brand and you love what you're doing. Most people don't have that level of intimate relationship with your business. Your business is your baby. And, if you ask me specifically, my babies, my children are the most intelligent. They're the cutest. They are the most interesting children that exist on the entire planet. Period. Point blank. Everybody who has kids tends to think along those lines. What I'm saying is this. We love our businesses because they're part of us. They're our creation. They're our babies. We take them from their infancy and nurture them and grow them. And then we try out different things and then test them out. And we put up tests, and hopefully our business passes those tests. And there's a lot of things that we do as business owners that's kind of akin to raising kids. But we form a rapport, we form a love with our business, and we project that out into the world. And that's great. That's what you're supposed to do. But don't mistake the fact that you love your business with the fact that everybody else is supposed to love your business, even when they're not in the market for what you're doing. I sell marketing services. There are plenty of businesses that do need marketing services. There are plenty of businesses that have a solid marketing system and don't need me whatsoever to consult. They don't need my opinion. They don't need anything from me. It would be foolish of me to sit and think that every business is appropriate for this. With the love of our children and the love of our businesses, sometimes that can override what we think other people's perceptions of our businesses are. And the reality of it is, people don't care about your business, they don't care about your services, they don't care about your products until they either need them, and they have experience with them. They've seen your service, they've seen your product, or you built some kind of rapport, relationship with them. Maybe you provided them some kind of free information to help along their decision-making process. And that's where people buy. A lot of times the people we interact with, and I mentioned this, I believe I mentioned this in the newsletter or the mailing list, video. If you haven't, you can check it out. I'll link it up in the description or post a card for it so you can check it out around this point. Most people, when they interact with your business, they are not in the mode to buy. They're nowhere near the mode to buy anything from you. They're not in the mode to buy any products, any services, anything from you. And because of that, you're going to have to remain in their mind for a time. And the way you do that is by maybe you give them a free download in exchange for an email address so that you can be putting them on a mailing list so that you can continue to have contact with them. Maybe it's a free consultation so that they can make an informed decision about the services that you're offering. Maybe they get a trial with your product. A lot of fortunes have been made with those free offers of try it before you buy it, like with workout equipment, a Bowflex machine or whatever. They let you try it out, you pay shipping and handling or whatnot. And when you try it out and get a sense of what kind of quality has gone into the machine and you feel good about it, you have those endorphins pumping through your body because you've been using it, because you got to justify your purchase. Then when it's time to say, okay, your 14-day trial is over, you know what? I think we'll go ahead and keep the machine. And that's what it is. So the company is trying to get you to engage with their product on a level so that you build a relationship with it. I'm probably going to end up with some car salesman mad at me somewhere in the comments. Ideally, I would love for somebody to get mad at me because that shows you're engaging. But the reason why car salesmen, they want to put you behind that steering wheel, it's a cognitive thing. They want to put you behind that steering wheel because when you're behind the steering wheel, when you drive that car, you get to start envisioning yourself as the person that owns that vehicle. You build a connection to that vehicle. So it makes it easier for them to sell you something. And after they've triggered your sense of reciprocity by providing you a free drink that doesn't cost them anything in exchange for a $20, $30, $40, $60, $70,000 vehicle, now that you've driven the car and you feel like you owe them something because they've given you some free can of soda or a free bottle of water, now you're going to make that purchase because you've connected with the vehicle, you've experienced the pristine ride and the smooth handling, you smell that new car smell that we've been conditioned to associate with newness, and now you're ready to make that decision because you've had experience with the product. That's the piece that a lot of business owners are missing. Y'all are expecting people, you can't go out here and expect people to fall in love with your brand just based off your smiling face and the fact that you have an awesome looking logo that you've invested thousands of dollars into. I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. There are a lot of wannabe influencers out here, and they pop up and they come and they go, and they establish a brand and a motto and a name and a specific look, but the content doesn't really grab the viewer. It's not anything that anybody's engaged with, and so then they go by the wayside because those viewers don't care until you entertain them. People don't really care until they come across your video and it's made them laugh, or it gives them hope, or it gives them information they didn't know, or maybe all of them, which is what the best of us are on here hoping for, where we create something that somebody can connect with on different levels, and that can kind of build the relationship. So a lot of this brand-driven marketing is bullshit. Let's call it what it is. It's made up. It's made up to sell ebooks, and it's made up to sell regular books. It's made up to get subscriptions and followers. People don't care about your brand until they've experienced it. And then they think that this brand is giving me some kind of quality or something I enjoy. And now I want to continue on with that brand, and I want to purchase other things from their product line. There are few brands out there that have that ubiquitous nature where you can just show that brand and people know exactly what you're talking about. Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Amazon's reached that point. Those are brands that are so big and so known that people will, trust them inherently. And it's led to some problems because, especially with the Amazon piece of it, a lot of people don't know that a lot of Amazon's products are sourced and sent by regular people. The Amazon sellers are not from merchants. They're from small shop people that either have some kind of source for a product, or they have the product manufactured themselves, or they are doing some retail arbitrage where they found it at one price point and are posting it and selling it for another price point. And it's caused some trust issues because there's always somebody who's looking to get over. There's always some bad actors who are looking to rip somebody off, and so they'll post, they'll send in broken items, or they'll send in fake items to Amazon, and it damages the reputation of the whole community, where there are just people out there who are doing the Amazon, seller stuff out of the goodness of their heart, or they need the money, and so they're trying to provide the best quality product to Amazon, and there are people that are bad actors who make it impossible to do that. So they have this level of trust until it's broken, and depending on what kind of shopper you are, or what kind of client you're dealing with, if that trust is broken or damaged in any way, shape, or form, they're done with you for life. And they will never, ever refer anybody your way, and you'll never get them back. So the power of branding only works once you have a relationship with somebody on the front end. Do not think that spending an insane amount of money on a logo or any kind of brand recognition efforts up front without offering some value, do not think that that's going to bear fruit. I need you, if you're following this channel, we do direct response marketing. We go for a response first. We want somebody to show interest, because the other side is you don't want a bunch of disinterested people looking up your brand, because chances are it's going to cost you money. And if they're not in a position to do business with you, you're wasting money by attracting them into your brand. So our focus with direct response marketing is getting a response first, and then we provide you with the marketing materials. We throw out some stuff, throw out some bait to, get people interested that has value. And then once they bite, we say, okay, so you're interested in this. Here is something that's congruent to the thing that you responded to. That's what we do. That's what direct response marketing is. That's why businesses are able to save money with it, because you create a free test offer or a low-cost test offer to test your market first. But a lot of this brand recognition stuff, where you're expecting that people are going to instantly gravitate towards your brand because of the slick-looking design and the logo looks good and you're on the camera looking good and you spend a lot of money on music and all this other stuff, and you bought the most expensive camera you could find, or you went out and hired, the best videographer and the best photographer and all this other stuff to establish a brand that nobody has a rapport with, you're throwing money away because nobody cares until they need you. And so a lot of these videos are going to really focus on how do you find out who needs you and how do you reach them. Because that's what direct response marketing is figuring out who your audience is and how to continue to reach them and continue to tap back into that market and continue to send them emails and things that are relevant to their interests so that you can continue to maintain them in your marketing system. That's what this channel is. But the brand building stuff, there are plenty of channels for that. There are plenty of channels out there that will tell you everything about building a brand. I'm focused on building a brand that people care about. And until people have displayed their appreciation tokens, aka money, until they've shown that, they ain't interested in your brand. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You spent a lot of time coming up with that name, and it's a great name. Now let's get people to care about it. So, in conclusion, a lot of brand building is bullshit. It's based in bullshit. It has no real bearing if you are starting from scratch and you don't have an audience and you don't know who your market is. You haven't spent any time to develop a rapport with that audience or show them what your product or service can do to change their life. or you don't have anybody that can refer, that's referring your name as somebody who's provided good service to them in the past and they're referring you off to somebody else. If you don't have any of that, all your brand stuff is a waste of time. Build the offer first. Get them to respond to an offer of free material or a downloadable ebook or a video or a free consultation or whatever. Get them to respond to that first. And once they've shown interest, then you can market to them. If they don't show interest, maybe it's not the right time to engage them. If they show a light interest in what you're doing, get them in your marketing system. Give a low barrier thing like, in exchange for this ebook, all I need is your email address so I can send you our newsletter to keep you up to date on what we're doing. Those are the kind of things, those are the kind of steps that you can take to make people start caring about your brand. But off the rip, if you think that somebody's going to come off the street and care anything about your brand or your personal brand and your logo design and all that other stuff, they're not. And too many marketers, too many business owners are getting sucked in by these unscrupulous marketers who sell them on these dreams of, well, all you got to do is just get your name out there. Your name out there doesn't mean anything if if people don't know what they can use you for. People don't know if your services are right for them. If people don't even know you and what you're able to bring to the table, getting your name out there doesn't mean anything. We only go after things that we need a lot of times when we're shopping online or Googling something. We need that information when we Google it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be Googling it. So think about it like this. If you're able to create an offer by using, you make a Google ad that answers a very specific question because you have the keywords optimized the right way, and you're able to show your ad to people that are asking a very specific question about a very specific service, and you're able to provide that answer, and you're local, or you're not hard to reach, or your website's easy to navigate, and there's this clear call to action on it that tells somebody what to do when they get to your website. Do you think you're more likely or less likely to get them as a client if you're able to address a need for them? That's what I got. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm still growing this thing. Leave comments. Anything, any kind of comments. If you have questions, if there's any topics you want me to address, either I'll tell you I can or I'll tell you I don't know and I need to research it. But help me grow this channel. So like, share, and subscribe. And let people know about what we're talking about on here. And understand this. I am not saying all this to disparage your company before I even meet you. That is not what the intention is. But I do think that we do need to start having some serious discussions about some of the information that's floating around out here, because there are a lot of people that haven't cut their teeth in business that are getting fed lines of BS about, the magic power of personal branding and stuff. And the way it's sold to them or the way that's presented to them, they're not really given a realistic perception of how you actually do this thing. Nobody cares about your name. Nobody cares about your brand. Nobody cares about who you are until you've displayed your value to them and they need your services. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.